Another season, another heartbreak. The Toronto Maple Leafs are out again. And while Leafs Nation is used to the pain, this time feels different because now the excuses have dried up, the patience has run thin, and the question isn't whether change is coming, and it's how deep it'll cut. So what's next for this team? Who stays? Who's out? And what kind of Leafs team will we even recognize by October? Let's break it down. For nearly half a decade, the Leafs have bet everything on one formula. 4 stars, 1 cup. Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and Tavares. Nearly $40 million tied up in just 4 players. And to be fair, on paper, it looked brilliant. Elite scoring, marketable names, top-tier talent. But on the ice, when it mattered most, the results haven't followed. They've been bounced in the first round 5 times since 2017. And even when they finally broke that curse in 2023, yes, they followed it with a flat, lifeless second-round exit. Now, a Game 7 blowout at home against a team they should have beaten. At this point, it's not just bad luck, it's a pattern. And for GM Brad Treliving, that pattern screams one thing: it's not working. So, does the core get one last shot, or is it finally time to break the glass? Let's start with the name that has everyone talking, Mitch Marner. Once seen as the team's ultimate playmaker, Marner's playoff performances have been underwhelming for years. In this postseason, he looked disengaged, frustrated, and completely out of sync. What makes his situation even more delicate is that he's entering the final year of his contract and has a full no-move clause. Translation: if the Leafs want to move him, he'll have to approve the destination. But here's the twist: some insiders are suggesting he might actually be open to it. Whether it's the media pressure, the fan criticism, or just the writing on the wall, there's a growing belief that a Marner trade might be the cleanest way to start reshaping this team. Possible destinations: teams like Calgary, Nashville, or even Columbus. All franchises looking to add elite talent and with cap space to make it work. But don't expect a massive return. Any team taking on Marner's $10.9 million cap hit for 1 year will want flexibility, unless an extension is part of the deal. Still, moving him could free up critical space to address the team's deeper issues, especially on defense and in the bottom 6. Then there's John Tavares, the captain, the hometown boy, the face of the franchise when he first arrived. But 5 years later, the conversation has shifted. His production has dipped, his skating has slowed, and his $11 million cap hit, which was manageable when he was scoring 80-plus points a season, now feels like a weight. He's got 1 year left on his deal, and like Marner, he controls his fate with a full no-move clause. The likeliest scenario, he stays, but in a reduced role. Still, moving Tavares is unlikely. The optics, the legacy, and the price tag make it nearly impossible. But the team will need to get creative to maximize what he can still bring. Ironically, the player once most likely to be traded may now be the safest. William Nylander silenced his critics this season with a career year. 98 points, clutch goals, and more physical play than we've ever seen from him. He also just signed a long-term extension, $11.5 million a year. Pricey, but in a rising cap world, not outrageous. Treliving views him as a cornerstone, not trade bait. Unless something drastic happens, expect Nylander to be part of the next chapter, not a casualty of the last one. So what's the big picture here? Some fans are calling for a full teardown. Trade Marner, let Tavares walk, go young, build around Matthews, Nylander, and Knees. But that's risky. You've still got Austin Matthews in his prime. You just extended him. He didn't come back for a rebuild. So more likely, a retool. Think Marner out, a top pairing D-man in. Add playoff-proven veterans to the 3rd and 4th lines. Fix the goaltending carousel. That's the formula teams like the Rangers and Stars have used to find playoff success without blowing up the core entirely. Let's talk names, because if the Leafs are making changes, the market has options. On defense, one of the hottest rumors involves Noah Hanifin, who was nearly moved at the deadline and fits the bill as a top 4 puck-moving D with playoff experience. Up front, there's buzz around Jonathan Marchessault if Vegas lets him walk. A gritty, vocal leader who just won a cup? Yes, please. There's also talk of adding a third-line center with defensive reliability. Think Adam Henrique or Luke Kunin. Not flashy, but exactly the kind of playoff-style depth this team has lacked for years. And in net, that's the wild card. Ilya Samsonov is likely gone. Joseph Woll showed flashes but struggled with injuries. Could they pursue someone like Laurent Brossoit or Antti Ranta on a short-term deal? Don't rule out a surprise. Remember, Treliving is not afraid to swing big. Lost in the noise of the veterans is a growing group of young talent. Matthew Knaes is the most NHL ready and should see an expanded role next season. He's physical, skilled, and thrives in big moments. Keep an eye on Fraser Minton and Easton Cowan too. Both had strong junior campaigns and could push for spots. The Leafs have rarely trusted rookies in key positions. That might have to change, especially if the team moves on from high-priced veterans and needs cheaper, hungrier legs in the lineup. It's not just the players who are under fire. Brendan Shanahan, who has overseen the team since 2014, is suddenly facing more scrutiny than ever. His Shana plan brought hope, but not results. There are whispers that if the Leafs flame out again next season, his time might finally run out. Brad Treliving, meanwhile, is just getting started. This offseason will be his first full summer in charge, and possibly the most important of his entire career. Ownership is watching. The fans are tired. This isn't just about hockey anymore. It's about legacy. It's about identity. So, what's next for the Toronto Maple Leafs? The answer is simple. Everything is on the table. This offseason could bring trades, buyouts, retirements, and surprises we're not even thinking of yet. But one thing is clear, doing nothing is no longer an option. This team has talent, it has money, and it has one last window before the cap crunch, aging stars, and playoff scars make a comeback impossible. The Leafs have one chance to rewrite their story. Will they take it?